Welcome to The Good with Dr. Joe.
Hello, it's about 9 o'clock Pacific time, that's California. It's 12 noon Atlanta time, and it's 5 p.m.
in London town.
London town.
Yeah.
It's London, England. What are you talking about, London town?
You've never heard of that.
Okay. All right. Thank you guys for joining us today. Yeah, we're going to be concluding our exciting conversation on marriage, partnership, and relationship. So last week we talked essentially about trust being the bedrock of any marriage relationship. We talked about that guy in California or no, in Orlando, Florida. The guy in Florida who shot his wife. And what I said to myself was that doesn't happen just like that. There was something really happening in the background that led to that. So we're going to be talking about.
Or he totally lost his mind.
Well, he lost his mind because of something. Something could have happened, He lost his mind.
Okay.
Now, one thing I want to bring out on that is the need to have a mentor. In everything we do, when you have a mentor, that really, really helps. A mentor is somebody you can talk to, somebody you're close to.
He's saying mentor.
Is that it?
Yeah, mentor.
What did I say?
Mentor.
Mentor. Okay, so
mentor.
Mentor. Okay, mentor. So somebody that is close, like somebody you can call on anytime.
A confidant.
Confidant. Yes. I think that besides trust, one other key principles or key factors that makes a marriage successful is somebody you can talk to. Because there's no marriage, of course there's no marriage that is perfect.
Well, of course. I mean, if you don't have communication, you've got nothing.
There's no relationship that is
But now
perfect.
there's a one factor that you're not thinking about.
Yeah.
And that is if you marry someone, you need to like them.
Okay.
I mean, like is even more important than love. If you like somebody, you grow to love them.
Okay.
The majority of people get married in heat instead of in love.
Yeah.
And, and sex is great, but it subsides. It cools down. And then if you don't like somebody,
That's true.
where are you going?
That's true. So a lot of this actually happens in the foundation. A lot of people these days just fall in love. I'm not really sure of that word. I'm not sure if that's a real word. People fall in love.
Well, they bandy that about. It's a frivolous word today.
There's nothing good when you fall. You remember you had to fall a couple of times?
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
so
that's true.
Falling is never good. So that's why I'm not really feeling this word about falling in love. You can walk in love. You can grow into love.
You grow into love.
You can grow into love, you like the person, and you now grow to like the person. Now, before you even get into relationships, especially marriage relationship, there are a lot of things that you need to consider before actually taking that leap, right? The leap of faith. I'm actually also working on the book. Is titled 40 Questions You Need to Ask Your Partner Before You Ever Get Married. That book is coming out, sometimes towards Christmas. So the thing is that we need to prepare before you get into a relationship, whether it's marriage relationship or a business relationship. So why don't let us just go ahead and talk about the marriage relationship, and then we'll talk a little bit about partnership, and then we'll start taking questions.
So many foundations of marriage relationships are also foundations for friendships. They kind of go hand in hand. And as we were talking earlier, that a woman should never marry a man until she's seen him with his mother.
Mm.
Because the way a man treats his mother is usually the way he'll treat his wife. And also, you need to see a person, this goes both directions, man and women. Mm-hmm. You need to see that other person really angry because you want to know how that person's going to act when they're very angry before you commit to living with them.
So what are you trying to set him up? Are you trying to set the person up and set him angry?
Well, no, but
if that happen?
If you're with somebody long enough, somebody, if they're human, going to get angry about something.
Okay. So what you're saying that time is also a factor here, because the
Well,
longer you go,
Well, generally
then
it is.
the better the chances of seeing the person.
Well,
angry.
yeah, there's exceptions to everything, but generally, I've been single for many years and done a lot of dating. And I've gone out with guys I really liked. I thought, oh, gee, they're great. This is, yeah. And then, down the road, you get to know them. You think, oh, man, I want him gone. Because you see something, and it works both ways. In the beginning, everything's great and wonderful. But then it settles into kind of a monotony.
So everything that you see doesn't always appear to be what it.
No, it's not always gold.
Yeah. So
sometimes it's brass.
I see.
Brass will discolor.
now, are there ways to kind of separate the brass from the gold? What are some of the things that you need to say, to figure out whether this person is a good person or whether it's just upfronting? Is that the right word?
Well, character, but, don't you think you get along better with someone if you have some things in common?
Okay.
I mean, you have a few things that you both like.
Commonality.
Of course, to me, I'm a talker. So if I can't sit down and talk with somebody, I'm not interested.
I see.
And if somebody lies to me, you hit the door. And if they don't have it, and we were talking today, sense of humor. You cannot spend your life with somebody that has no sense of humor.
Makes great it makes for good rapport.
Well, sure.
It makes for good conversation. When the person is.
And the Bible says medicine. Laughter is like a medicine to the body.
Is good. Laughter is good.
It does keep you well.
Here's one thing I don't understand. I'm still trying to understand as I learn through various relationships, because I do a little bit of marriage counseling on the side, informal. So I'm trying to figure out. I was looking at some pictures. We're going to show some pictures of the wedding. This particular couple, the wedding photos. Oh my God! It was like heaven. The bridesmaid, groom. Come on, help me out.
Groomsmen.
Okay, groomsmen, ushers, and the bridal party were so good. They were looking so good. The wedding was good, and everything was good. All of a sudden, this go from this heaven, and now shooting this person dead. So that transition. That what happens there is something I see, don't understand about relationship going from good or excellent to now really horrible. We're going to show the picture of the wedding. We're going to show the picture of the.
He was deranged to start with.
How do you know that though?
You don't know.
So
that's just like abusers. They can be very charming people. And you don't know until something sets them off. You don't know. I
see. So then what we have to do then to avoid situations like this is knowing some of the basic principles of success in either relationship or marriage. Okay, last week, before we start going into business, last week we talked about trust. Trust is number one. And we say part of the process of building trust is making sure you have a way of documenting, memorandum of understanding, making notes, confirming whatever you guys agree on, and work from there. So trust is number one. Number two is having a confidant, a confidant, or a mentor. Somebody you can call when you have situations, because there's no relationship that's perfect. There's no marriage that's perfect. In fact, you even said perfection is boring, right?
Oh, yes.
That's our word. That's not me. That's our word. Can you say it? Let's hear from you.
Perfection is boring.
See, perfection is boring. So there's really nothing that is perfect. There's no relationship, no marriage that is perfect. So there's always something. So when you have somebody you can reach out to, you have somebody you can talk to about what is going on, then it makes it a lot easier to do.
That may be true, but it's better to talk it over with your partner.
Yeah, I was going to that. The next one is communication.
Yeah.
Communication within a relationship, whether it's a business relationship or a partnership relationship.
Or your friendships.
Or friendship or marriage. There has to be some ways of communicating. I remember when we were growing up, my dad always had a time of conference with the wife. It was 3 p.m. on Sunday.
Oh, that's good.
3 p.m. Let's talk about whatever we're talking about.
Yeah.
You know, how good is that? You know,
That's very
so
good.
it was always easy for them to talk about anything on Sunday because Sunday 3 p.m. very, very open. So part of communication is that you are open, not being overly defensive.
Or keeping something in you that you dislike or made you angry and letting it fester,
Yeah.
become a molehill, becomes a mountain.
Yes.
So that's good when the people set aside a time each week
Yeah.
to sit down and kind of, vent themselves.
Yes. Then even if I at least eventually now became a date. Sometimes
good.
when they meet, they even
Yeah.
talk about venting. They just talk about, oh, okay, I love
Yeah.
this. How do you move forward? So
Right.
you see,
God, that almost makes me wish I was married.
it's never too late.
Oh, it is too late, believe me. It's way too late.
It's never too late. But anyway, the art of communication is very, very critical in any relationship, even in business relationship. You want to be able to feel, okay, this is how my partner is feeling. This is how my husband is feeling. This is how my wife is feeling. And you are being objective in even conversation. That's the next thing, is being objective.
Well, now that's true, but you're leaving out one of the most important
Yeah, go
things, and
ahead.
that's compromise.
Okay. Well, objectivity leads to compromise.
'Cause
So
if,
they work together.
if
you know?
you haven't got enough grace about you to compromise, you got problems.
Yeah. In fact, some of these points are highlighted in my other book. I hope I'm not talking too much about books today. I'm talking about books. So I have another book I'm working on. It's called 8 Simple Steps to Resolving Disputes. As we talked about this marriage thing last week, we talked about making sure you learn to resolve.
Problem?
I don't want to call it
Resolve
problem.
what?
I want to
A
dispute.
disagreement?
Yes.
Dispute?
Disagreement, dispute. You want to resolve that before it becomes a conflict.
Oh, yeah.
When it's a conflict,
When it's a molehill, take care of it.
yes, so you want to take care of. So create room in your communication time to address differences, disagreements, and disputes, so that it doesn't develop
Yeah.
into something else.
Yeah, right.
So what are that things can you remember that makes marriage, that you think would make marriage work?
Well, you have to be tolerant.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't, you should never get married till you've made up your mind you're going to be tolerant, because something's always going to come up. You've got to learn to compromise. You've got to be tolerant. And in capital letters, you've got to be forgiving.
I want to add to that patience. Being patient with your person, with your partner, knowing that whatever they do, there's always a reason. I remember one time my wife sent me to, I've shared this before, my wife sent me to buy tomato. So she just said, can you help me pick up some tomato and onion from the store? I said, okay, what type? You have several onion. I am a bad person when it comes to shopping. Oh my God, I am bad, So I said, okay, what kind of tomatoes? So she actually sent me a photo.
Of a tomato?
Cell phone photo of the tomato, the pepper, the tomato. Pepper, tomato, that's it.
Pepper.
Okay, pepper, tomato, and onion. So she sent me photos of it. So guess what? I was so focused on making sure I get it right that when I went to the store, I actually picked up 1 pepper, 1 tomato,
and one
onion.
Well, that was logical.
That's what I brought home.
That was logical. That's what she told you to
That's
get.
what she did.
Yeah. She wasn't specific, was she?
No, she was very specific.
Yeah, so
Because
you did what she told
She
you.
put it on the photo. So when I got home, and I was thinking to myself, so I must have did very well today.
Yeah, really
and
did
she
good.
and she looked at it back and said, what? You bought 1 pepper, 1 tomato, and 1 onion. So she was, what am I going to do with that?
Now,
You understand what I'm saying?
I understand what you're
Yeah.
saying, because peppers are sold individually.
Yes.
So naturally, you'd pick up one.
Yeah, just pick up 1.
And of course, you can always get 1 onion, or you can get a bag.
No, they sell it separately too.
I know. I said you can always get 1 or a bag.
Yes.
So she was at fault, but she blamed you.
What? I don't want to say that. I don't want to
said
say
it. You didn't have to.
I don't want to say. I don't say she's at fault. She's never at fault. You can never say that.
Oh.
So, but anyway, the truth was that we came to a place of understanding. that, hey, I was just going by what was on the photo. But for people, this could have led into, bigger issues.
Right. Well, let me ask you something.
Yeah.
If you marry and you find out, now this could be either a man or a woman,
Yes.
and you find out you're married to a controller,
Yes.
how do you handle that?
Well, if you're married to a controller, well, first of all, you would know there are some tips that you would get before you get married.
Okay, but let's say
That's number one.
Let's say
Number
you
two.
see little signs,
Yeah.
but you just really want this person.
Yeah, then discuss it.
Uh-huh.
If you see some signs why it's going on, is a lot of people going into marriage relationship, they see some issues with the person. They think, oh, I'm going to change them.
No, you're not.
That's where people make a lot of mistakes. You don't have the power to change somebody else. You can change yourself.
But why would you want to marry somebody that needed changing?
Because they love them so much. You just said that you
But
want
what
this person so
attracted
much.
you to them to start with
Yeah.
if things needed changing?
Yeah. So there may be a minor detail that needs changing. You
But you
understand what I'm
might,
saying?
yeah, but see, you better make up your mind to tolerate that minor detail.
But discuss that first. You guys put on the table and say, okay, this is something I noticed about you. You're always late. I mean, if the person is
and I
late
hate
on your first date
I just hate that.
and late on your second date,
I wouldn't even date him again.
Okay, so I mean, and he may genuinely have a good reason for coming in late, So, but you know that this
I
guy
always
has a potential for coming late. So that's something you're gonna have to
And you know what that
decide.
tells me?
What?
That he's not dependable.
Okay, so you can read a lot
Oh,
of
so if
different
he's
things.
going to come in late on an appointment, then he's not dependable about some other things down the road either.
Yes. So you can read a lot of things about that. But what
Yeah.
I'm trying to say is that once you are going to get into a relationship, some of these signs you will see.
Right.
So it make sure it's your point to at least discuss it.
Right.
Not in the point of accusing or labeling the person,
Right.
but just bring it as some observations that you made. You made some observation, and then you want to make sure they understand that. So our time is moving very fast. We're going to start taking questions soon.
Yeah, because you could talk about this all day.
Yes. The number is 678-708-4567. So what are the 4 key points that we mentioned today? Number 1 is trust in relationship. Number 1, you need to trust. Figure out a way to make the trust work. Build the trust. Number 2 is what we need, a mentor. You need come on people, you think you know it all? No, you don't know it all. You need a mentor or a confidant. Somebody you can talk to and say, okay, where is she saying this?
What's it?
Okay.
Come on.
Number 3 is communication.
Yeah.
You got to learn to communicate, And then number 4 is what you call it to be tolerance. Add patience.
And don't forget compromise.
Add patience, add compromise to that. You can't always have it your own way. All right. So while we're doing that, so let's just talk a little bit about partnership.
Well, you've covered it. I mean, the same thing goes for partnerships.
Yes. Except that, exactly the same thing. You can actually take this exact information and move it over to partnership.
Yeah, if you want a long, enduring friendship, it all applies.
Yes. So you want to bring it to partnership, either partnership in business or partnership in sports or partnership in whatever areas you want to apply any form of partnership. That is the
basics of it all.
That's the foundation. Somebody asked a question last week. How can a married couple operate a business? That was a question.
Well, not all married couples can.
Say that again?
Not all married couples can, but depends on personality.
Yeah.
When you're at work, it's business, and when you're home, it's personal.
Yes.
And if you can't differentiate the two,
Yeah.
you can't do it.
I see.
We've got an IG question.
Okay.
It says, "How can perfection be boring?"
Okay, I'll let you do that first, and then we'll start. The
sameness all the time is boring. Now, if they've never experienced that, they haven't lived long enough, or else they've been in a shell somewhere. But it's like a straight line. Look at a building with a straight line. It's not attractive. But if you break that line up a little bit, it becomes more attractive. It's like doing a plate of food. They never do anything straight. because it's not as appetizing as a little curvature or a little arrangement like. But yes, somebody who has the same personality all the time, they never raise their voice, they never get upset, they never get excited. Can you think of anything more boring?
So
You can always predict what they're going to do.
Yeah.
And that, it takes the excitement out of life.
Yes. So that's my thing. What I don't like about perfection is predictability.
Predictability.
So you're just predictable, and you can, anybody can, what is now?
Well, so like I say, oh, the house is on fire, and he stands there and says, well, then I guess we better walk out the front door. You know, he doesn't even get excited with a fire. Is that not boring?
That would be boring. That would be boring. That would be boring for me. Yeah, that would be really boring. Yeah. So, and then number two is that it's not realistic.
No.
So that's the other thing. The perfection is not realistic. And part of the reason why marriages fall apart is that people go in with this notion that everything's going to be perfect. Oh, it's going to be a house with picket fence and 2 cats, 2 dogs, 2 children, and everything is going as it. That does not exist anywhere, you know. So because it doesn't exist anywhere, even thinking about it now becomes even boring.
But you know, you got to determine: do you want to live with a calm personality, or do you want to live with a vibrant personality? Now, I prefer vibrant.
I feel a little bit of everything.
Well, no,
So I like a little bit of
really like
everything,
vibrant.
Yeah. Okay, well, you like vibrant, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you got to determine what you like.
That's it. That's your choice, you know. Yeah.
Yeah,
So you
that's
like
what
one.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
But a lot of people like somebody really calm and quiet.
Yeah.
With their thoughts all together.
Yeah.
Now that's nice, and that's good in business.
Yep. Yeah.
I like to be in partnerships with that in business.
Yeah.
But in marriage, if I'm going to live with somebody day in, day out,
Yeah.
I want them to surprise me.
Yeah. 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 So I mean, you need a little bit of spontaneity, you know, a little bit of, you know, different ideas and so on and so forth. All right, folks, we're going to bring this to an end. Next week, we're going to be talking about relationship between man and woman. Oh, is it men and women? Okay, we got our call. Thank you for calling the
Good with Dr. Joe.
Good with Dr. Joe. Sorry about that. So you have a question or comment. Now you can give a question or comment. You may disagree with us, you know, or you have a contribution. That's good. Go ahead.
Okay, I would like to know, when is the right time to actually step away from a relationship, when you know it's no more, can't help another person, or I don't know.
All right. So that's a good question. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate that call. You see, this is where sometimes people make mistakes. You know, people make mistakes in this area because you do not know where to cut the relationship.
Well, you cut it when you see that it's not right.
Okay.
Don't have to wait.
See, my thing is this. This is my recommendation. If you really care about this person and you want to be in a relationship with this person, so the first thing is that you want to first bring this conversation to a table where you have a conversation with this person. So this is what I noticed. This is a problem, and I think this is an issue we need to resolve. Okay.
Well, that depends. That if you want to continue the relationship, that's okay.
Yeah.
But if you're finished with it,
No, you have to give that person an opportunity to respond. If the person says, okay, I can work on it, then you can try it. The next thing to do is to get one more person in. This is where mentorship comes in. Get a mentor.
Joe,
Yes.
I've been single for about 30 years.
Okay.
I can't remember all the men I've dated.
Okay.
When you finished with it, you finished.
Mhm.
And unless you want the relationship to continue, then you do what you're saying. If you see things you don't want to contend with anymore, you just say, look, this isn't working for me. We're going to break this off. You need to find somebody else who can appreciate you.
Yeah, but that was a question. The question is, when do you break it off?
I just said.
No, it's not saying when you're finished. You're saying when you're finished.
Yeah.
But the questionnaire was saying that when do you break the relationship up? Well,
When
so
you
at
want
that point, well, that's what I'm saying. You know, these are some of the steps they have to take. And after taking this step and it's not working, then you can tell the person, okay, because part of the problem here is that when one person breaks off a relationship and the other person is not ready, that's
their problem.
That's where some of this violence come up, because one is ready to let go, the other one is not ready, and the other one say, okay, if I can't have you, nobody else can have you, and then the violence come in. So that is why it's good to have this conversation, to say, okay, this is where I'm going, this is where my head is, where are you? Can we make this work? If we can't make this work, okay, get a second person or a third person that's okay, sit down and say, okay, this is where we are going. If it's not working, then I'm going to excuse myself. I'm going to get out of this relationship, And you have to come to an agreement to disagree. You can come to an agreement to go each other's separate ways. I think that's one part of divorce and one part of breakup.
Well, now divorce is something different than just dating.
No. I understand that. Divorce is also part of
you're going to
going separate ways.
You're into a total different area.
Yeah, I understand that. That's one way of going to different ways also. Whoa. So what we're going to do now, we're trying to round up. We are getting calls. Thank you for calling the show, the podcast, The Good with Dr. Joe. What can we do for you today?
Feelings or interest before you were in a relationship or partnership.
Sorry, say that again.
How often should you put someone else's interest or feelings before yours in a relationship or partnership?
All the time.
That's a big one.
No, it's not. It's all the time.
All the time?
Yes, sir. So, all the time.
That's unrealistic.
When you care for somebody, they're first.
Well, see, here's the thing, though. We have to be realistic.
I am.
We have to be realistic.
And the Bible tells you to do that.
The Bible says to do that, but is it realistic, though?
No, it's not.
Oh, that's the thing. So that's what I was asking, how often. So if your partner notices that, okay, we'll have another call. If your partner notices that you are putting them first, now here's the expectation.
And then you think they're going to take advantage.
No, they should also respond. They should reciprocate.
Of course. So, if we lead by our actions.
Yes.
So if you treat them that way,
yes.
If they're not dumber than dirt, they're going to treat you the same way.
Yes. Yeah, so that dumber than dirt. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. Okay. So yes, what you expect somebody to reciprocate.
Well, of course, we're supposed to lead by our actions.
Yes. Now the problem that even though you are doing the right thing by every time considering your person, at some point, in order for relationships to work, the other person also have to reciprocate in some way or other. Acknowledge it and make it work, and that makes it.
But even if they don't, you still should continue to do what's right.
Okay. Yeah.
Because you're responsible for yourself, not that other person.
Yes. Yes.
You're going to answer for your actions.
Yes.
And it doesn't matter what that other person does. You do what's right.
Yes. And this is why it's very, very important. And for those further young people who are trying to get married, this is why it's good to discuss all of these things. All of this. Please look out for that book, the 40 questions you should ask before you get married. 40 questions you should ask before you get into a relationship or get into a partnership. It would save you a lot of headache. It would save you a lot of problems. All right, folks. Thank you so much. Time is well spent. Well gone. We are over the 30 minutes limit.
Bye.
So we'll see you. Well, you got to tell them what to expect next week.
I don't know what to expect next week.
What? Okay, next week we're going to be talking about relationship
with who?
Between parents and children. You remember?
Oh, that's a good one.
Yes,
that's a good one. Boy, that is desperately needed.
You forgot about that.
Yeah, forgot.
So relationship between parents
and children. Okay.
How parents should relate to the children. How parents can have a partner with children, and so on and so forth. All right, we'll see you next week, Wednesday. At noon on Instagram. And we also have a book launch coming. We'll tell you more about the book coming up next week. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.